Hey everybody, my name is Monatui, and today I'm bringing you guys my Week 5 match versus Ruby Marrow, coach of the Glass City Gliscor. If you guys don't know what the PPL is, please check out the description below. There will be a link to the PPL YouTube and Twitter, as well as Ruby's link as well. Please check him out. He is a relatively new YouTuber just coming to the league format. One of the last, I believe, to be entered into the Division 2. So please check him out. He's proven a lot of critics wrong with his team. He is, I believe, at this point in time, the same record as me. No, I believe he has 2 wins, 1 tie, and 1 loss. His tie came to chaos due to disconnection, and there was no clear winner, so they decided on a draw. This week, we are going up against him, and this is going to be kind of a weird recording. Basically, Showdown sucks and deleted everyone. I'm just going to adjust the face cam here. Move over? Okay. Showdown deleted everyone's replays, and you can't make new replays currently, which is stupid. So I basically, to take a preventative measure, I recorded it live. Now, I wanted to commentate it live, but I unfortunately could not, because at the time we were having this battle, my roommate was in the room playing loud music and blah blah blah. I didn't want to ask him to leave, so we're just going to kind of do it this way. Once again, I'm not going to go over my team because I already have an entire video going over that was uploaded yesterday, so if you guys want, please check out that. So this week, my opponent is bringing Alakazam, Mamoswine, Granbull, Flygon, Jolteon, and Keldeo. Now, Keldeo is a relatively big threat to my team, however I do have Manaphy and Toga to deal with it, as well as Uxie to kind of pivot around it. And with the team he brought, I'm not super concerned about Toxic Spikes. It would be nice to get them up, but I'm more concerned with my Stealth Rocks. So I'm definitely going to lead with my Uxie to get them up immediately. He has nothing to taunt me besides Alakazam and Keldeo, but I doubt he would bring taunt on either of them, as he would probably want the 4-move coverage, or at least substitute or something like that. But yeah, Uxie is also my best lead because it takes a hit from absolutely anything on his team. It can take a hit from a Specs, Keldeo can take a hit from a banded Mamoswine. It does not matter, I can take a hit from it. Also, I'm kind of expecting him to lead with his Flygon, predicting my Nidoking. So yeah, I'm just going to lead with my Uxie, and we're going to go from there. Again, this is kind of a weird recording, so I apologize if it's like all over the place. You're gonna see like my mouse is right over my second mouse. Let's see if I can follow it. Can I follow it? Oh, we're going. Where are we going? All right, let's get to the match start. Match start. Again, this is gonna be really, really weird. Okay, right here. I'm gonna lead with my Uxie as he leads with this Flygon, and right here I know I can just go for the Stealth Rock. So I just click the Stealth Rock button, as you'll see in a second, Flygon does what Flygon does, and just clicks U-turn, takes the Rocky Helmet damage. Which is I'm totally fine with, because unless this Flygon is Defog, I pull up Skype here, blah blah blah, there we go. Again, if you see like random cuts, it's because I'm actually recording this from my Camtasia other thing. It's a weird setup. So yeah, Skype chat, yay. I might edit that out, honestly. I have no idea. We'll see what happens. There's some stuff going on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to edit that out. Alright, that's awkward. Can we like skip forward? Okay, let's see. Okay, we're back. Here he goes out into his Alakazam, and I want to break this thing's potential Focus Sash, so I decided to go out, or just go for the U-turn. Regardless of what he does, I can take a Life Orb Shadow Ball if he has it. Also, depending on the damage he does, I will be able to confirm whether or not he has Life Orb or Sash. Fucking checking Skype again, so that's cool. Anyway, you saw me hovering over the potential, yeah, you guys probably saw me hover over the Togetic right as you see there, and I actually click it, but I decide not to. I don't want to risk this thing being a Life Orb variant, because I can't really do too much to this thing other than Seismic Toss it. So I do just decide to go for the U-turn, as that does a lot of damage, which confirms to me that this is definitely a Life Orb Alakazam. A non-Life Orb Shadow Ball, if your Focus Sash would not 2 KO me, and that does way too much. But here, however, I get to go out into my Excadrill and basically get a kill here. He doesn't really have anything too safe to switch in. Like if he wants to go Granbull, I could click Iron Head, which I know he doesn't want to do. Keldeo does not want to take an Earthquake. It can, but it can only take 1 and cannot take any afterwards. But yeah, here I just click Earthquake. Again, like I said in my Team Builder video, nothing resists the Earthquake. The only thing that he has that can take it on decently well would be a physical defensive Grand Bull, and even that, if it's not running leftovers, it has absolutely no recovery. It has no form of recovery in form of things like Roost, Recover, things like that. So I am just going to go for the Earthquake as he does pull the switch into Keldeo, and that is really good because this is an enormous threat to my team, and I get off a nice chunk of damage on it. Now here, this is where I start to have an issue with this thing. I realize my best play is likely to go out into my Togetic. I think he's probably going to go for the Secret Sword because he doesn't want to, well, it hits my Manaphy harder. My Oopsie will die as well if I switch it in here, so my best play is to just go out into Togetic. Even if he does Scald me, it will not 2 KO me unless he has Specs, and even then it is a roll whether or not he can 2 KO me, and I can then go for the Baton Pass and get momentum going, and you're going to see a theme here. Here I'm going to go out into my Togetic, as unfortunately he crits me, but does not get the burn thankfully, so I am able to live 2, and by that damage I can confirm that he is not Specs, as a crit Scald would have done way more if he was Specs. And here, I know he's going to want to switch out, so I go out into, I go for the Baton Pass rather, and go right out into my Excadrill, as he is in with his Jolteon, as he reveals the Toxic Orb. Now, that was actually a really cool thing on Ruby's part. Instead of just making the Jolteon Choice Scarfed, I'm going to pause it right here, instead of making the Jolteon Choice Scarfed, he decided to give it Quick Feet, which actually makes a lot of sense. He has a few things to deal, he has 2 ground types to deal with my Heliolisk's electric attacks. Granted, they don't want to take an HP Ice or Surf, but so in order to free up his choice of moves, he decided to just run Quick Feet, and I think that makes a lot of sense, honestly. It's a good planning on Ruby's part here. He predicts the Earthquake, and, you know, not the Iron Head, and goes out into his Grand Ball. As you can see, it takes it relatively well, but I am totally fine with that because, again, this thing has no recovery. It's going to be taking damage every time it switches into rocks. The Earthquake still does a decent chunk, so after a couple more turns, I will be able to kill this thing. Here I decide to sack off my Oopsie as he actually goes for the Super Fang, and the miss is actually more annoying for me because the Super Fang would not have killed because that's how Super Fang works, and he would have had to take me out with the Play Rough, so he would have taken another, he would have taken more Rocky Helmet damage from the Super Fang plus the Play Rough, but it's totally fine. Here, again, I can just go out into my Excadrill, and without the Intimidate and at the range that this Grand Bull is at, I will be able to knock out the Grand Bull as well as anything else he wants to switch in. The Flygon can take 1, but again, it doesn't want to, and of course it can threaten me out, but again, it does not want to take all that damage. Now here, I do the Calc, I do whatever, Grand Bull max physical defensive, and I do Excadrill, you know, Calc, blah blah blah, thingy, whatever, Flare, blah 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 blah, Earthquake, and I see that at level 100 it is a roll hugely in my favor, and at level 50 it is a guaranteed kill. So here I just double check the calcing and I click Earthquake and this Grand Bull goes down. If he were Quick Feet, he would not have been able to outspeed me as well, so that was totally fine. I don't think he would have run Quick Feet Grand Bull, but you know. Now here he goes out into his Keldeo, and I know that this is the time I need to go out into my Manaphy. I do want my Togetic a little bit for later, so here you're going to see he does get the burn unfortunately, but it's not a super huge deal as I actually am able to get a kill here. And here I know he's going to want to switch out probably into his Jolteon to immediately threaten me, so I just go for the Surf. I knew it would also do a lot of damage to the Keldeo as well, so go for the Surf as he brings in his Jolteon, and right here, I have 2 ground types on my team. There's no way he's going for an electric attack, especially if I go back out in my Excadrill, I click Earthquake and kill something else, so there's no way he is going for an electric type attack. Also, I don't want either of my ground types getting weakened because they are both big win conditions. Granted, Manaphy is as well, but I can deal with the Mammoth line basically just by sacking things off once in a while and killing it. So here he stays in. It goes for the Wish, actually, as I knock out the Jolteon with the Surf. Now, he's also put into a pickle here because anything he goes into can die to Manaphy. The Mammoth line, I have speed. The Alakazam may be able to kill me, which, actually, yeah, the Alakazam would be able to kill me if it went for Psychic. So I think he definitely should have made that switch, but as you'll see here, well, I'm not going to spoil it until it actually happens, but, check Skype, yeah, I'll probably put something in the way just because I don't want, like, my Skype conversations being shown, but, yeah, I also apologize if this video is a little framey. But yeah, here he goes out into Keldeo. What he's trying to do is knock me out with the Secret Sword. That way he can get Keldeo back up to a good health, a good amount of health, because Keldeo is a very big threat to my team. Yep, Skype again. Okay, cool. Gonna be editing that out. Again, I apologize. This replay thing has really kind of screwed me. Because of timing, it has to be over Showdown and blah 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 blah. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just going to click Psychic because I know it'll knock out the Keldeo from this range. I can live a Secret Sword, as you'll see here, and I knock him out with Psychic, meaning that the Wish was wasted, and Manaphy knocks its second kill of the game and moves himself up on the MVP race. So that's pretty cool. Now here, I believe he goes out into his Flygon. Yes, he does. And I have no reason to save my Manaphy. Dives to Ice Shard at this point. It dives to any move from Alakazam. It dives to this thing, so I just leave it in and sack it off as he goes for U-turn. And this is actually really good for me, because once again, now that his Mammoth is, well, no, not yet, because he brought out Mammoth I'm actually going to go out into my Nidoking. Because I'm a Focus Sash Nidoking, I can take any hit from this thing, and I can just click Earth Power. I don't necessarily need my Nidoking. The Sucker Punch would be nice for the Alakazam, but again, my Excadrill does perfectly fine. Because I went first, I know that this thing is not Scarfed. Here, I do try to pick off the Mammoth line with the Sucker Punch, but I guess he sees it coming, because as you'll see in a second, he actually decides to switch out into his, here it is, what is it? Flygon, that's right, Flygon. Predicting the Sucker Punch, which is kind of risky because if I got for Ice Beam, Nidoking won me the game at that point, but it's totally fine. Here, I do want my Nidoking around, and I look for the most useless thing on my team, and I realize that it is indeed Cupid. Do I do that, or do I just sack? No, I sack it off, because at this point, if he U-turns, I come in with my Excadrill and get a kill, because Mammoth Line dives to Earthquake at this point. Alakazam dives to Earthquake as well, and he can't switch this thing in on an Earthquake. So, no matter what he goes out into here, I click Earthquake with my Excadrill, and at this point, as long as I play smart, and as long as I don't overpredict or do anything stupid, I win the game. So here, I'm doing a couple calculations in my head, blah blah blah. I'm like, should I go Aerodactyl? And I'm like, no. Because if he has Timid Back Speed, he will actually outspeed my Aerodactyl before it Mega Evolves. So here, I go out into my Excadrill, and I just click Earthquake. It will knock out anything that switches in, it will knock out this Alakazam, and that is perfect for me. Now, at this point, once again, I'm put in a very good spot. If you click the Stone Edge or U-turn, I'm going to switch out into Togetic. This is my best play, because if you click Stone Edge or U-turn, if you click Stone Edge, he will potentially kill my Togetic with 2. And if he does go for Stone Edge, I can just switch right out into my Excadrill. Oh, well, not right out. I'll sack my Togetic and then start clicking Earthquake, because I basically win the game at this point. Now here, same thing, if he switches out to Mammoth Line, I just let my Togetic go down, and I go back out to my Excadrill, and it's basically the same situation. Right here, I click Earthquake, there's nothing he can do to knock me out. I am definitely faster than this thing, even if it is Scarfed, which I learned it was not. It was Focus Sash, but either way, it does not matter. And here I win the game, because we know his Flygon is Scarfed. If he locks himself into Earthquake, I win with Mega Arrow. If he locks himself into something like Fire Punch, I win with Mega Arrow. If he locks himself into Stone Edge, I win. If he locks himself in Outrage, it doesn't matter what he goes for. My combination of Excadrill and Mega Arrow beat him. And as you'll see here, he goes for the Outrage, thinking I would want to go into Aerodactyl to preserve differential, and that is going to be the match. We win 2-0 over the Glass City Gliscor, and it feels very good to be back into, I guess, the winning game again. I don't know if that makes any sense. It feels good to be playing well again. By the way, I apologize if there was that bubble at the bottom left screen the entire time. I'm probably not going to re-record this, but that was a very good match, Ruby. Excadrill put in the finest of work. I would also like to point out, he did not bring Charizard X, which I was kind of afraid of, but his reasoning in, I had things to T-Wave it, I had things to take hits from it, I had things to Revenge Kill it, that makes total sense, so I understand why he didn't bring it. But yeah, that was a very fun match, and again, good game to Ruby, did very well. So yeah, I apologize again for the weird editing that I did in this, and I apologize for like the weird way that it's set up. Hopefully the replays will be back up by next week. Also, hopefully I'll be able to just do Wi-Fi those weeks, my opponent's schedules will be okay. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys look forward to the next week, where I believe we take on Troy, actually, and that's going to be a huge match. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.